All right, let's talk about one of the most important documents in all of software engineering, the Software Requirement Specification, or SRS. And to really get our heads around it, we're going to use a simple metaphor. Think of it like a blueprint for a house.
So let me ask you this. Would you ever hire a construction crew, buy thousands of dollars worth of materials, and just tell them to, get started?
No way, right? The chances of things going wrong, of having to tear down walls and redo them, of ending up with something that looks nothing like you imagined, it's just way too high. And yet, this is pretty much what happens when people try to build software without a solid plan.
So, what is that plan? Well, in the software world, that blueprint is called the Software Requirements Specification. This is the document that lays the foundation for the entire project before anyone writes a single line of code.
Okay, so what is it exactly? An SRS is the official guide that describes everything the software is supposed to do. We're talking its main purpose, all of its features, and exactly how it should behave when a user interacts with it. It's all there in black and white.
You can think of the SRS as doing three big jobs at once. First, it's the master plan, the one central guide that everyone, from designers to developers, can follow. Second, it's basically a contract. It's the formal agreement between the client and the team on what's going to be delivered. And maybe most important of all, it's the single source of truth. This prevents that classic nightmare scenario where everyone has a completely different picture in their head of what the final product should be.
So, if the SRS is our blueprint, what's actually written on it? Let's peel back the layers and look at what you'll typically find inside one of these documents.
Now, this is probably the most important concept to grasp, the difference between functional and non-functional requirements. Functional requirements are all about what the system does. These are the actions, the features, like a user can register with an email. Pretty straightforward. Non-functional requirements, on the other hand, describe how the system is. These are its qualities, things like how secure it is, how reliable it is, or how fast it performs. So think of it this way. One is about action, the other is all about quality.
And here's how it all comes together. A good SRS usually follows a really logical flow. You start with an introduction, which just sets the stage. What are we building and for whom? Then you have the overall description, which gives you the big picture view. But the real meat of the document is in the specific requirements. That's where you dive deep into all those functional and non-functional details. And finally, you've got your appendices at the back for any extra stuff like charts or definitions.
But here's the catch. Just having an SRS isn't enough. A bad blueprint can be just as damaging as having no blueprint at all. So what really separates a clear, useful guide from a document that just creates more confusion?
A really solid SRS has a few key traits. It has to be complete. You can't leave anything out. It needs to be consistent, meaning you can't say a button is blue on page 5 and green on page 20. It has to be unambiguous, which means every sentence can only be interpreted one way. And this one is huge. It must be testable. You have to be able to actually prove that the requirement has been met.
This quote right here absolutely nails it. A good SRS avoids fuzzy, subjective words like fast or user-friendly. Why? Because my idea of fast could be totally different from your idea of fast. These words are vague and they're impossible to test properly.
Let's make this crystal clear. A vague requirement says the system should respond quickly. A good testable requirement says the system must load the user dashboard in under 2 seconds. Instead of the interface should be user-friendly, you write, a new user must be able to complete registration in under 3 minutes without help. See the difference? One is just a wish. The other is a concrete target you can actually measure.
Okay, so we know what an SRS is, what goes in it, and what makes a good one. Let's bring it all home and talk about why this blueprint is, without a doubt, the foundation for any successful software project.
You know, the really crucial thing to get here is that an SRS isn't just for the developers. It's the central hub for everybody. The developers need it to know what to build. The client needs it to know what they're paying for. The testers use it to write their test cases. Project managers use it to plan schedules and budgets. Heck, even the maintenance team that supports the software years from now will go back to it. It's the one document that connects everyone.
When you boil it all down, it comes back to this one simple idea: a single approved document. This one blueprint is what saves you from costly redesigns down the road. It makes project costs and timelines clear from the get-go. And honestly, it's one of the best tools we have to stop software projects from going off the rails.
So I'll leave you with this question for your own work. Is your next project being built on a solid, clear, and testable blueprint, or is it really just built on a foundation of wishful thinking?
Because honestly, the answer to that question could make all the difference.